What's up, family? Man, hey, nature is our greatest teacher. I'm going to say that again. Nature has always been our greatest teacher. Most of us, unfortunately, are too arrogant to sit back and too impatient to sit back and observe nature. Most of us can't comprehend the fact that we can learn so much about ourselves just from observing nature. Stay with me, we're going to go somewhere. Interesting, can't even say the word. Interesting fact: the carbon atoms in coal are squeezed together, they're heated, then they're pushed to the surface where they cool off and become diamonds. I'm going to say that again. The carbon atoms in coal are squeezed together, they're heated up, then they're pushed to the surface where they cool off and become diamonds. That's who we are. That's all we are. That's all life is about. That's all life is about. I always say, you always hear me saying, man, we don't know who we are. We don't know who we are. And you know what? It's crazy. It's crazy because the great majority of us, man, we're so angry, we're so bitter, we're so mad at all of the hell that we've gone through, not even understanding, not even comprehending the fact that, you know what, the hell that we've gone through, it's the squeezing, it's the heating up process so that we can be cooled, elevated, and become diamonds. We resist the squeeze, we resist the heat. We can't stand the pressure. We don't want the pressure, but we want to be elevated. We don't want the pressure, but we want to shine. You got to go through the process. You hear me say this all the time. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working together for my good. What is that? That's the squeezing. That's the heat. That's the being pushed up. That's working together for my good. But because I don't understand the process, I feel like you're attacking me. Because I don't understand the process, I feel like you guys are dogging me out. Because I don't understand the process, I feel like this is killing me. Because I don't understand the process, I feel like I'm being attacked. Because I don't understand the process, I feel like you're trying to keep me down. Because I don't understand the process, I have all these negative connotations up to what I'm going through. I don't care what it is that you've gone through. I don't care what it is you're going through. It's part of the process. What is the process? The process is that you're being heated up. You're being squeezed. Why? To get all the impurities out of you. Why? To get everything that's not helping you grow to reach your best or your full potential. You're getting all of that stuff out of you. We don't understand that process. So we can't embrace that process. And so we resist the process. We fight against the process. We delay the process. We delay our own shine. We delay our own potential. We delay our own worth because we think we know so much, because we think we're smarter than the process, because we think we got all this figured out. We have to learn to trust the process. We have to learn, excuse me, we have to learn that everything is always working out for me. And when I understand that, when I embrace that, it's life changing because I'm no longer resisting the process. I'm no longer fighting against the process. Man, I could just sit back, smile, relax. Why? Because, man, I'm about to shine. Why? Because I'm being elevated. I'm about to be cool. You know what I mean? We don't understand the process. We want the shortcuts. We don't want to have to go through the pressure. We don't want to have to be squeezed. We don't want to have to go through the fire. You hear me talk all the time about going through the fire. You got to go through hell. You got to go through hell to understand who you are. You hear me talk about all the time. Man, you got to do your shadow work. You got to go back in and understand what the hell is going on. Why did I go through what I went through? What is this doing? What was the purpose for this? Again, it's to help you understand who you are. It's to help you grow into who you came here to be. You didn't come here to be a bomb. You didn't come here to be a failure. You didn't come here to be a quitter. You didn't come here just to be somebody's baby mama or somebody's baby daddy. You didn't come here to be beat down and dogged out by narcissists. You didn't come here to be used and abused. You didn't come here just to be abandoned. You know what I mean? You came here for a reason. And that reason is the why we all came here. We're all the same. We're all the same. We have to get that in our heads. We have different stories, different backgrounds, different experiences, but they're all for the same purpose. They're all doing the same thing, squeezing you, heating you up. Why? So it could elevate you. Why? So you could cool off. Why? So you could shine and be the diamond that you came here to be. I understand that diamonds don't shine. They just reflect back the light that shined on them, thus giving them the illusion of shining. I understand that. Okay? I'm just talking, just having a heart to heart with you guys. We have to understand the process. We have to understand our worth. See, so many of us settle for crap because we don't know who the heck we are. So many of us settle for abusive relationships. We settle for mediocre jobs. We settle for just mediocre lifestyles because we don't know who we are. We'll accept anything, everything, just so that we won't be alone, just so that somebody will like us. Family, you have to go through the process. You have to go through the process. And the crazy thing, life is the same for every single one of us. Every single one of us are here walking that hero's journey. Every single one of us, we're here living, experiencing the fool's journey. And we all come into this world this full. We all walk the fool's journey until we become wise, until we become understand who we are, where we're going. And then after we accomplish that, it's now we're walking this hero's journey. It's the hero's journey. Why? Because he's fought his monsters. He's faced his demons. He's overcome the tragedies. He's overcome the trauma and the pains that he had to endure. Why? So that he can become a hero. So that he can become his full or reach his full potential. The greatest version of himself. That's why we're here. That's who we are. Every single one of us, that's who we are. And when you look at people, you can see where they're at in their journey based on where they're at, based on how they conduct their life, based on how they talk, based on how they live. You can see exactly where they're at in their journey. And this is why it's so easy for me to sit back and say, man, we have to stop judging people. We have to stop being so judgmental because the truth is we're all walking the same path. We're just at different levels. We're all on the same journey. We're just at different levels. And we've all been the fool. We've all started out at the same place. I don't care about your nationality. I don't care how deep your pockets were when you came into this planet. I don't care how deep your family's pockets were. We all start out at the same place. And we all have a walk, a journey that we have to go through. That journey may be different in just our experiences, but it's all teaching us the same thing. It's all to teach us the exact same thing. And so many people, man, well, our purpose here, we just here to glorify God and whoop-de. What the hell good is it to glorify God and not know who the hell you are? I know that's going to be offensive to a lot of people. You didn't come here just to glorify God. And if the truth be told, you don't even know how to glorify God. You thinking that singing is glorifying God? You thinking that going to church on Sundays is glorifying God? God don't give a crap whether you in church or not on Sundays, or on Saturdays, whatever day of the week you want to go. God don't give a crap whether you paying your tithes and offering. That ain't glorifying God. You could do all of that stuff and still live like a demon. You could do all that stuff and still kill, and still connive, and still lie, and still cheat, and still be abusive, and still be a rapist, and still be a pedophile. You glorify God in how you live your life. And how you live your life is not in all the yak, 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 yak that you're talking about. It's not in all the scriptures or whatever it is that you read. It's not in you just reciting all of that. Because you can recite all that and not live none of it. Do you trust the process? Are you resisting the process? Are you fighting the process? Have you allowed your religious or your political dogma to make you become so intolerant, so freaking judgmental, to where now you're not even growing anymore? Have you allowed your political views? Have you allowed your social views? Have you allowed your religious views to delay your process, to delay your being elevated? And see, when I talk about being elevated, I'm not talking about being elevated by man. I'm not talking about being elevated in a job, in a position, in financial status. That's not the elevation I'm talking about. That elevation means absolutely nothing if you don't know who the hell you are. There's a whole lot of people that have reached that plateau financially and have committed suicide. There's a whole lot of people that have reached that plateau financially and are strung out on dope. There's a whole lot of people that reach that plateau financially, and man, they're some of the most crooked, corrupt people in the world. Some of the most hateful, judgmental people in the world. So it's not about the financial status. Do you know who you are? Do you know why you're here? And the things that squeeze you the most, the things that put you in the fire that you're walking through the most, those are the things that we hate. Those are the things that we're bitter about. Those are the things that we can't stand. Those are the things that we become so freaking just angry over, not even understanding. Those are the best assets we have. Those are the best things going for us because they are the ones that's trying to help us reach our full potential. So many of us have these fake friends, you know what I mean? That tell us what we want to hear. They don't tell us what we need to hear, they tell us what we want to hear. They ain't got our best potential in mind. See, when you go through the fire, when you go through the hell, man, it's that fire, it's that squeezing process, man, that's trying to help you reach your full potential. That's trying to help you be your best, to help you become the best you possible. So many of us have it so backwards, so confused that we think that because we're going through the fire, we think that because we're being squeezed, that we're wrong, that something's wrong, that this ain't right. It shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be this hard. It shouldn't be this complicated. We have to grow up. We have to grow up spiritually, intellectually, emotionally. We have to grow up. We got to stop acting like freaking babies. Spoiled as babies. When you're a little kid, when you're a baby, your parents do everything for you. They bring you your food, they change your diapers, they give you baths, they clothe you, they do your hair, they do all those things to take care of you. After a certain point, you got to do it on your own. After a certain point, you got to get up and brush your own nasty teeth. After a certain point, you got to get up and wash your own stanky tail. After a certain point, you got to pick out and iron your own clothes and wash your own clothes. Pay for your own bills. Cook your own food. And it's no different in our emotional and spiritual growth and development. You're going to have to start doing your own research. You're going to have to start doing your own understanding. And what I mean by that, you're going to have to sit there and process and understand all of the hell that you've gone through. You hear me say this all the time, man. We got to change our perspective. We have to learn how to change our perspective of all the hell that we've gone through and stop looking at it as something bad. Stop looking at it as something negative. Stop looking at it as a setback. Stop looking at it as a failure. It was none of that. It was meant to be none of that. I don't care how much it hurt. I don't care how much it set you, quote unquote, set you back. I don't care how much it cost you. I don't care how much it broke you down and made you cry. It was not meant to destroy you. It was not meant to make you a failure. None of it was. None of it was. Family, I'm not just talking to you about something that I've read, I've heard something. You know what I mean? I heard this somewhere. I'm telling you from experience. I'm telling you what I know. I don't care what you've gone through. It don't matter what you've gone through. It's always working out for your best interest. It's always working out for your good. It's always, always trying to help you reach your full potential. Man, people trip out when I tell them, man, I'll go through everything that I've gone through. I'll go through it all over again. You know what I mean? If I had to go through everything that I've gone through in life, man, I'll go through it all over again. I'll gladly go through it all over again. Man, it hurt. Man, I was broken. You know what I mean? Yeah, I cried many tears. Man, I've gotten to the point to where I wanted to commit suicide many times. But I'd go through it all over again, gladly. Why? Because I understand the process. I understand the purpose of the process. I understand that in order for you to become a diamond, in order for you to reach your full potential, you got to go through the process of being squeezed, of being heated. You got to go through the fire. You got to go through the pressure. You have to go through the pressure. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. There's no getting around it. There are no shortcuts. You have to go through the pressure. As a 2-year old, I saw my mom murdered by my dad. Was molested twice in church by guys. Grew up in an abusive family, verbally, emotionally, physically abusive. Had my heart broken many times. 1 year, I saw my brother pass away due to cancer. A few months later, my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer and she passed away that year. I've gone through some hell. I've gone through the pressure. I've gone through the squeezing process. I've gone through the heat. We all have to go through the heat. We all have to go through the squeezing. And that squeezing process may look different for each and every one of us. That heat, that hell may look different for each and every one of us. But the process is the same. Don't get caught up in, man, I didn't have to go through what they went through. Man, I'm not going through what they went through and whoop and man, nobody's gone through what I went through and da 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 da. Man, who cares? None of that matters. The only person that matters to is it should be you. You gotta walk that journey. You gotta walk that path. It's not meant for everybody else. We all have our own unique story. We all have our own unique experiences, our own unique path. And again, this is why we shouldn't be so freaking judgmental. But every one of these paths leads to the same thing. If we trust the system, if we trust the process. The crazy thing is, the great majority of us hate the process. We hate the squeezing and we hate the heat. But we'll do absolutely nothing to get out of it. And what I mean by that, because you can't get out of it other than going through it. You can't get out of it other than growing through it. You got to go through the process. If you don't like the process, shut the hell up and grow through it. Learn to be grateful for the process. You hear me talk about gratitude all the time. You got to learn to be grateful. You got to learn to understand this is helping me reach my full potential. And if you don't like the heat, if you don't like the pressure being squeezed, why the hell would you keep delaying the process so where you have to stay in the heat longer, to where you have to stay in the squeezing process longer? If you don't like it, why are you still there? If you don't like walking through hell, why are you still there? Why did you camp out there? You don't like being squeezed, but yet you took up permanent residence right there. You don't just gave up. You don't just quit. And every day of your life is pressure. Every day of your life you've been squeezed. Every day of your life you in hell. And you don't just took a permanent residence. But yet you quit to talk about how you don't like this and you can't stand this, da 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 da. But you live there. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. And so many people be like, man, Elijah, well, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you get out of this process? How do you elevate? How do you understand who you are? And whoop de whoop de whoop and da 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 and draw me a map and do this and help me with this. And it ain't, I'm not doing none of that because I can't do any of that. All I could do is tell you what the process is. All I could do is tell you, hey, look, you're in your squeezing moment. You in your squeezing season. You in the process of walking through hell. Understand that. Embrace that. Understand all that you've gone through is the squeezing process. Understand all the pain that you're going through is the hell process. It's the heat process. Understand that. Embrace that. Be grateful for that. Knowing that it's all good. Knowing that it's going to help you elevate. Knowing that it's going to help you reach your full potential. My hope and prayer is that, man, we wake up. We snap out of it. We snap out of the ungratefulness. We snap out of the bitterness. We snap out of the anger. We snap out of the animosity. We snap out of the judgmental nature. We snap out of the jealousy and all the other things that keep us trapped in this process. We snap out of the I got this figured out, I already know, and whoopty whoopty whoop, and you ain't telling me nothing new, and da 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 da. We snap out of all that ignorance. Because as long as we hold on to that, we're going to continue to live in hell. As long as you hold on to that, you're going to continue the squeezing process. And what is the squeezing process? It's going to choke the shit out of you. Excuse my language, but you get what I'm saying. It's going to choke the crap out of you. It's going to get all the impurities out of you. It's going to get all the hatefulness out of you. It's going to get all the self righteousness out of you. It's going to get all the ungratefulness out of you. It's going to get all the jealousy and the bitterness and the animosity and all the other stuff that you got that you hold on to. It's going to get rid of all of that. It's going to get rid of all of that. When you take a lemon and you squeeze a lemon, only what's inside of that lemon can come out of that lemon. I'm going to say this again. When you squeeze a lemon, only what's inside of the lemon can come out of the lemon. If that lemon has jealousy, if that lemon has bitterness, has animosity, has hatred, has unforgiveness, has bitterness, has ungratefulness, has all these other toxic traits in it, when you squeeze that lemon, all that crap is going to come out. And understand the process. It doesn't all come out at one time. You're going through the hell season, you're going through the squeezing season. It doesn't all come out at one time. It's a process, a little bit at a time. You're not going to change and become a diamond overnight. It's a process of I'm getting a little bit out, a little bit more 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 out, until all that is left is love. Until all that is left is gratitude. Until all that is left is truth. Everything else has to go. Your religion has to go. Your political dogma has to go. And all that you're left with is love, acceptance, forgiveness, patience, truth. And every time you go through a squeezing process, that's proof that you have not arrived. That's proof that you're not a diamond. Because there's something left inside of you that has to be squeezed. Something left inside of you that's not part of your true nature that has to be eliminated. Understand the process. Understand the purpose of the process. Understand that everybody in your life that has some type of interaction with you is part of the process. They're part of the lesson. They're part of your journey because they're part of the lesson. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.